Good evening, class. My name is MJ, and today I'm going to talk about the Senate race between Raphael Warnock and Herschel Walker in the state of Georgia. Raphael Warnock's appeal to Democrats would consist of his views on abortion, on how he wants to provide protection for them to crossing state lines to get their procedure done. Warnock strikes the interest of the left-leaning voters as well with his with his bills and plans of dealing with our economy and creating more jobs for the communities of Georgia. Warnock then gets more brownie points with his policies on healthcare, with lowering drug costs as well as eliminating out-of-pocket costs for Medicare recipients of Georgia, as well as lowering the maximum cost of insulin to $35 and addressing the maternal mortality rate in Georgia, as well as a full expansion among all of the citizens of the state. Gun control is another appeal to Democrats for Warnock, as he is tightening gun control with background checks, more punishments of drug trafficking, and banning the sale of military-style high-capacity weapons. Lastly, Warnock appeals to Democrats with his voting rights policies, as the acts make everything go through DC for any legal changes, which shows more government control. Now onto Herschel Walker's appeal to Republicans. It would consist of his views on abortion and how it's illegal for anyone after 15 weeks, with exceptions of rape, incest, and if the mother is endangered. Walker continues his appeal to Republicans by blaming the Democrats for high gas prices, the inflation rates, as well as excessive government spending. Walker's appeals to Republicans follows in his rejecting Medicare or Medicaid expansion, because where would all the government come from to cover the cost? And then Walker is an avid supporter of the Second Amendment, which correlates to Republican views on the rights to bear arms. Walker continues with his opposing more control of the federal government, controlling how states determine the qualifications and requirements for voting. Walker believes the government should spend more money on the military to help aid veterans. He also has said to keep Democrats out of office because all they'll do is raise taxes, make inflation rates higher, as well as putting men into women's sports. Now we'll go into Warnock's appeals onto independence. He has a policy put in place for veterans to avoid homelessness, which is something that independents believe in human life. Walker appeals to independents for a couple of things, one being the Second Amendment and gun control. Independents have the value of protection and security of the U.S., and they like showing off the power of the military. Walker also rejected the John Lewis Right Advancement Act, which is the independents believe that the Constitution should be what the government, how it should run and what it should be managed about. And then lastly, even though the state of Georgia has been Republican majority of the last 20 years, I believe this is the year it flips blue. Warnock is just the better candidate for this runoff election because he has better policies, rather than just being like, oh, I don't like this, so I don't know what's going on, but I just don't like what's going on, which is what Walker would say. A number of Republicans in Georgia have made it well known that they will not support Walker because of his controversial campaign, which means that Warnock won't just having Democrats voting for him. He'll also have Republicans voting for him as well, who dislike what Walker has in policies and planned if he gets into office.